This conference will now be
Now it is okay,
recorded.
sir.
మాట్లాడండి మీటింగ్ లో, అంతేగాని మీరు చాట్ చేస్తే ఒక్కోసారి చూడొచ్చు చూడకపోవచ్చు. Okay, so let me now go to the SAP system and I will try to create two different vendors and a material. Then we will see. Let me go to the SAP. But in this, I think the quota arrangement is not working. There is some technical issue. Okay, but anyhow, we will try to see how a quota arrangement will be created. So I will go to the SAP Online server, Rafi and India 123. Okay, so I will create a material quickly, MM01. And LROH. So I will try to create a material LROH, and the organizational levels are TM11. I'm trying to create a material for the TM11 plant. So let me go back. You are already aware of material master, right? So how to create? So let me now go to the valuation class and moving average price. Let me now save this. So the material is 4005, and I will select two vendors. So I will go to the MKVZ and I will try to select two vendors. MKVZ. So I will try to select two. I think I have created the material for the. I think I created the material for TM11. I will try to extend this to the IN47 plant as well. Why? Because I don't have the details for the purchase organization and vendors created for TM11. So I am trying to extend the material to the IN47 as well. So I will input IN47. So 4005 is now created for plant IN47. Okay, so then I will try to select two vendors which are available for the IN47 purchase organization. Okay, so how I will see, I will go to the MKBZ and the purchase organization I will input it as IN47 and I will go to the execution button. So I will select the vendors as 7030 and 7990. So one vendor is 7030 and 7990 is the vendor number 2. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to create a quota arrangement. What is the transaction code to create a quota arrangement? Create quota arrangement is MEQ1, and also for the change also same transaction code. Change also MEQ1 and creation also MEQ1 only. And for display MEQ3. Then list of quota arrangements means I wanted to see the list of quota arrangements. So the list of quota arrangements are MEQM. MEQM is the transaction code to see the list of quota arrangements. So where I will see the list of quota arrangement details, I will go to the SP, I will go to the logistics management. I will go to the logistics materials management. Then I will go to the purchasing, and here you see there is something known as master data. Okay, so then I will go to the source list, quota arrangement, MEQM for the maintenance, MEQ3 for the display, MEQ4 is for change log. Then MEQM is for the report for the list of quota arrangements. So I will go to the MEQ1. I will try to create a quota arrangement. Okay, so before creating a quota arrangement, so we need to have the one of the master data known as a info record. Okay, so we are going to discuss that info record soon, but let me quickly maintain the info record. We will discuss what is info record. Okay, but for now I will try to maintain the info record so that we will be able to create a quota. We will discuss what is info record, but for now let us see. 7030 material N47 plant N47. Then 7990, right? Vendor is 7990. So we were able to create both the info records. Now I will try to create a quota arrangement. So I will go to the MEQ1 and I want to create a quota arrangement for the material and the plant. So the material is 4005 and the plant is IN47. IN47 is the plant and the material is 4005. And I want to maintain two different vendors. Okay, so for this particular material, so I will click on enter button. I will go to the enter. Okay, so the validity date of the quota is today's date. Let us say from today's date to it will be valid for 31032023, and I will click on enter button. 3105, right? 3103 input minimum split. Okay, minimum split is nothing but yeah. Let us say the quota arrangement validity from automatically will be taken as today's date, and validity 2 will be 3105032022. Minimum split is nothing but what is the minimum differential quantity. Let us say if I am ordering 2 pieces, that I will give 1 piece to order to one vendor, 1 piece order to one vendor. So it is 1:1 a ratio I am going to give it to the vendor, or 1:2 or 1:3. Means if I specify 1:2, that means I am going to give a order of, let us say if I say 1:3, that means for vendor number 1 I will give 25,000 numbers, and vendor number 3 I will give 75,000 numbers as a order. So that is nothing but a minimum split between the quantities. So here I am going to give a 1:1. So minimum split means there should be a differential quantity of 1 between each and every vendor. I will click on enter button. To date, yeah. So I think I need to put 31032023, not 2022. Okay, so I will click on enter button. I will select this particular line. I will go to the item details. So here I will select the procurement type. The procurement type I am going to select as a external procurement. Why? Because I am trying to buy this particular material from one of the external vendor. So I will be selecting the external procurement over here. Okay, so then go to the, then select the vendor. What is the vendor number 1? The vendor number 1 is 7030, and I am going to give a percentage of 70%, right? So I need to specify the percentage that I am going to give as a quota 70. And what is the split quantity? Maximum quantity I can give is 70,000, right? So 70,000 I am going to give it to this particular vendor. And but what is the base quantity? Base quantity is 1 lakh. So I have taken base as a 1 lakh, and out of 1 lakh I am going to give a 70,000 to the order for the vendor number 1. Then for the vendor number 2, it is also a external procured vendor 7030, and 7990 is the vendor number, and the required quantity that we are going to give it is 30%, and here 30,000, and the base quantity is 1 lakh. Okay, so like this we need to maintain a order a quota arrangement, and I will try to save it. But here there is some issue, so it is not getting trying to save. But this is the way you need to maintain the quota arrangement. But in this system there is some technical issue, so we were not able to create. Okay, but this is the way you need to maintain the quota arrangement simply. So if you want to change a quota arrangement, you can go to the same transaction code and you can make some changes. Let us say I created a quota arrangement for this particular material which is valid till 31032023, and I will select and I will go to the item. So if I want to make some changes to the minimum quantity or base quantity, etc., I can make the changes over here. Okay, so I can make the changes over here, but in this system there is some dump, then technical issue is coming, so I am not able to create anything over here. Okay, but this is the way how you can create a quota arrangement in a simple manner, or make changes by using the same transaction code MEQ1. Then if you want to see the display of the quota arrangement, you can see the display, but here we haven't created any quota arrangement, but that is the reason. If you want to see, you can see the quota arrangement by using MEQ3 transaction code over here. Then display changes means you created one quota arrangement, you made some changes, you wanted to see what is the quota arrangement that I have created earlier and what are the changes that I made it to that particular quota arrangement, you will be able to see it under MEQ4. So if you go to MEQ4, you will be able to see the details of the changes that you have done for a particular quota arrangement. What is the old change and what is the new change here, you will be able to see it over here. And a list of quota arrangements. By using MEQM transaction code, you will be able to see the list of quota arrangements that are being created for a particular material and the plant combination. See, this is the one of the quota arrangement that is being created by somebody. So if you want to see, you will be able to see the quota arrangement over here. Right, let me now go back. So then what is the next master data?
Hello.
So the next
Hello.
master data is the, any doubts
Sir,
on the quota arrangement?
yes, sir. How to apply means how to synchronize it with purchase order means if I made purchase order for some material and I have to made purchase order uh, and apply quota arrangement in that means what to do in purchase order T code, so automatically take this data on there.
I didn't get your question. Can you repeat the
Hello.
question? Yeah,
Yes, sir. Sir,
can
how
you
to
repeat
apply
your
this
question?
Hello. Yes. How to apply this quota arrangement to any purchase order, sir? Means
Those things
it
we
will
will
take.
be discussing later, not now. Okay, so but here we are, it will give you a confusion. Okay, so just don't go till that particular level. So we haven't created any purchase order, right? So we are still under the master data. Purchase order is a transactional data. Once all the master data are created, then only we are going to create a transactional data. We are still discussing the master data only. So try to concentrate on master data.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay,
I have one more
so
doubt, sir. Sir, I have one
hmm,
doubt, sir.
yes.
Here we are giving particular vendor for 70% and another particular vendor for 30%.
Hmm.
The system does not take automatically, sir. Suppose if we give only percentage, who is the L1 vendor, it takes 70%, L2 vendor for 30%. Does not system does not allow the directly. Here we are giving manually now.
But how system will come to know means let us say you want to buy 1 lakh pieces. But how system will come to know how much quantity you want to give it to vendor one and vendor two. So
Here we
system
are
by
given
itself.
percentage, no, sir.
So you mentioned percentage. Okay, then what you are asking, why system will not calculate 70,000?
No, no, sir. For L1 vendor and L2 vendor, you have given already mentioned in the vendor, particular vendor for 70% and another vendor for 30%. Why
Uh,
we are giving the percentage for particular vendor to 70%? That is the my point.
why you are giving means it's your own decision, right? You maybe you have a history of the vendor number one. He is very good, or the vendor number one he don't have, he is having a very good capacity, but this particular vendor doesn't have capacity to produce the, let us say this vendor doesn't have a capacity, then if you give 70,000 also he will not deliver, right? So you need to consider so many parameters. What is the vendor past history of the supplying the materials? Is he a very good supplier, or if you give the order today he will take 2 months? So though all those things you need to check, right? So based upon the vendor past history and although the prices, right? So vendor one said he will give you a very less price, but vendor two he is taking a lot of price. So you can take so many parameters into consideration, accordingly you can split the quantities. Okay, but all
Okay,
these
sir.
parameters system will not know on its own, right? You will be knowing physically when based upon the delivery of the vendor or the past history of the delivery of the materials by that particular vendor. So by considering all those things, you are going to specify the percentages and accordingly give it to them in the system. The system can do on its own also, but are you willing to accept what system is suggesting? Okay, So you can develop anything in the system. Okay, so you can develop one report for a particular vendor. You wanted to see what is that vendor evaluation that something is there. Based upon the past history of the material that is being supplied by the vendor, you can evaluate the vendor performance. So based upon the performance of the vendor, system can allocate a percentage automatically. So but if you want that, you need to go for some development or enhancement. Okay, so any other doubts do you have?
Yes, sir. One doubt is there. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, at the time of in a change mode, uh, we we fill again data means if same vendor or whatever it may be. Uh, when we at the time of creating some data we create and change at the time of changing some other data we feed. So what about the previous data, sir? If vendor are different, means so, what is the what happened with previous data we filled at the time of creating quota arrangement? Can you brief me
Actually, your
on that?
voice is low, very low. I cannot. Others will you able to hear
Hello,
him? I cannot hear him properly.
hello.
Can you be little bit loud?
Now it is okay, sir.
No, still your voice is low only. Okay,
Just I will
but
write.
what I understood is you created one quota and later you changed it. What will happen to the previous one, right? So
Yes,
the
exactly,
previous
sir.
one will not be available, right? Why you made some changes? Because you wanted to do the change, right? So that is the reason you wanted to have the latest update. So in your system also, you will have the latest update only. Whatever may be the pre or the initial things that you maintain in the system, those will be replaced by the new data, right? Whatever may be the new changes that you did, though you wanted to keep those changes only, right? You don't want to keep the old changes as well as the new changes. So your system will only display the new changes.
Okay.
Okay, so any other doubts? Okay, so if there is no other doubts, we can discuss the other master data, that is nothing but a service master data. So what are the we were able to create a material masters in the same way. If you want to create a service master in your system, you can create a service master as well. Like in your company, you are doing machinery maintenance services. You have one machine and you wanted to have the machinery maintenance services. Maintain service. So this is one of the service you want to create as a master data. So how you are going to create, what is the configuration that you need to maintain before creating a service master data? So you need to create a service category. So service category, create service category. Okay, so the service categories will be two types, right? One is purchasing services, means you want to buy a service from one of the external vendor. So one of the service that is being as a category is a purchase service category. So this will be used by the right? So you are buying, you have a company and you want to buy some services from the one of the external vendor. So then you will go for the purchase service category as a service category. Sale of services is one of the other category, right? Sale of services. means you are selling the services as a company. In such cases, this particular process will be part of sales and distribution. So when it comes to the SAP materials management, we are going to discuss only about the purchasing of the services, right? So you are going to discuss about only the purchasing of the services. So I need to create a service category that is nothing but purchasing of the services, then create number ranges for the services, for service, then assign number range to service category. So this is the configuration which we need to do it. So where I will create a service category, so I will go to the SPRO transaction code. So I will go to the SAP reference implementation guide. I will be going into the materials management. So external service management. So I will go to the service master. So define service category. So I will take SAP standard service category is SCRV for the procurement of the services. So service purchase is SAP standard is SCRV. I will select SCRV and I can create SRV9. So and I will make changes to the service purchasing Tata group. So SRV9 is the service category which I was able to create. SRV9. Then I will save it. Now I will try to maintain the number ranges. Where I will maintain, I will go to the define number ranges. I will go to the intervals. I think so. What I will do, I will try to take any one of the existing interval. It is like how we created the number ranges in case of material master. The same way we need to create the number ranges over here as well. Let us say I want to create a number range. Let me see, do we have any intervals over here? No intervals. Let me see, if I want to create a number range, I will go to the number range maintenance groups. I will go to the create. So I will try to number range for service master. So I will go to the intervals. I will go to the free intervals, and the number range is 12999. So I will select this and I will click on OK. So I just created a number range interval that is 15, which starts with 1 and it is going to end on 999 like that. So the number range integer is 15, and I am going to assign this particular 15 to SRV9. Where I will do that? So I will save it and I will go back. I will go to the, I will try to find it out, SRV9, and I will click on state at the correct line and I will select and I will go to the SRV9. I will select SRV9 and I will go to the assign element group. So 15, right? So the number range integer for the service master. So I will select F15 and I will click on OK. So and I will save it. So now the number range integer 15 is assigned to the SRV9 service category. Okay, so I will go back and I will try to see the groups, right? So where I have created, I will go to the groups and I will try to find it out, SRV9. See, SRV9 is now assigned to a number range integer 15 that starts with 1 to triple 15 5 nines. So this is the number range integer which I have assigned to the service category SRV9. So this configuration we need to do it as a part of service master data. Okay, once this configuration is done, we need to create a service master data. Where you will create, you will go to the logistics and you will go to the materials management. Here you see service master data. So in case of the service master data, we have only one transaction code which will be used to create, change and display. Everything is one transaction code only. Create and change and display. So all these activities will be performed by only one transaction code, that is AC03. Then list of services, right? So you wanted to see the list of service master data. So that is AC06. So AC06 is the transaction code which will be used to see the list of services. Okay, so I will go to the service master and I will go to the service. You see AC03 is the transaction code which you will be using to see the list of services. No, not list of services, creation. If you want to create or change or display, everything will be used by using only one transaction code, that is AC03. Then AC06 is a list of services that you wanted to see by using the AC06 transaction code. Okay, so I will go to the AC03 transaction code and I will try to create a service master data. Okay, so see, this is for the creation of the service and you want to change, you will use this particular transaction code, and you want to display, you will use this particular transaction code. Okay, so service master data, like material master data, we have a basic data one, purchasing, materials, sales, and you have a accounting one, accounting two views, right? In the same way, in the service master data also, you will have various levels of data that is being maintained. So I will create a new service. I will click on create. So this is the service number, nothing but a activity number which is going to be generated automatically based upon the service category. What is the service category? SRV9, right? I created. So I will select a service category as SRV9. And what is the base unit of measurement which I am trying to use it to calculate the service? You just need to select a unit of measurement. Any unit of measurement you just select. And what is the description of the service? It is a machinery maintenance services, right? So I am going to enter the description of the service over here. Okay, so then a short text change is allowed, means you created one service, later point of time you wanted to change the description of the service. Yes, you can change it with the help of the, if this particular checkbox is active, you can have the changes allowed by the system. If you don't activate this, it will not allow you to make the changes after the creation of the service. That is the meaning. And deletion indicator, if you want to delete a service, you can put the deletion indicator over here. What is the levels at which I am going to maintain the service? So the levels I am going to maintain it is, so basic data level, service category, time management, purchasing data, internal work and long text. These are the levels at which I can maintain a service master data. I want to expand these things. So I will go to the expand all. Okay, so the first level at which I am going to maintain data is the basic data. So here I will select the service category or the service group. Services which has the same characteristics, I can group them under one common group. So nothing but a service group. Let us say this particular service which I am trying to create is a machinery maintenance services. So I will select the relevant machinery maintenance service category over here. Okay, but I think I will select anything over here. Also the division. So I will select the relevant division for which this particular material is being used, or relevant for authorization group. I will put 4, 5, 6, 8, nothing but what is authorization group? Authorization group will be used to control the access of the service master data, some group of people. Like finance department, they don't want what is service, they don't bother about, right, services, etc. So if you don't want to give the access to the finance team, you can write some logic based upon the authorization group specified over here, so that you can restrict the access of this particular service to the finance people. And whether it is a off tax service or full tax service, you just need to select a relevant tax category over here for the service. Where is let me see, India. I wanted to see the, yeah, is it a GST exempted service or non-taxable GST? You just need to select the relevant tax parameter over here. And valuation class. So if you wanted to perform the integration against this particular service with the finance module, you just need to select the relevant valuation class. Like we have selected the valuation class in case of the accounting data tab for the materials, right? In the same way, you also need to select the relevant valuation class over here. Formula. So what is the formula that you are going to select, or to create to calculate the total value of the service? Let us say if I am doing a painting, right? If I am creating a service master data as a painting services, so I need to, let us say one vendor came and he painted the house. So how I am going to calculate the volume of the service that he did it? So I am going to calculate the volume of the service based upon the length, height and width, right? So it is a volume based service. Means for 1 cubic meter of the volume, I am going to pay a 10 rupees as a service charges, but the vendor is did the 1000 cubic meters. So then what is the total net value of the service? That is 1000 multiplied by 10, right? So it will be a 10,000 is the net amount that I am going to pay to the vendor as a service. So I just need to select the relevant formula. I am going to select the formula based upon the length, breadth and height. So to calculate the total net value of the service. Okay, so but if you want to define the formula, how you are going to calculate the net value of the service, you can create the formulas for the service in the backend configuration as well. Let us say I am going to create SPRO. So I will go to the SAP reference implementation guide. I will be under materials management. Then you have external services management. So here there is something known as formula for the quantity determination. I will go over here and I can define the formulas. So whether it is a volume based formula or is it a area based formula, you can create. Okay, so I will select this and I will try to create a new formula. I can create it over here, that is volume 045 is the, I will try to create a formula over here. So I just created a formula that is volume 045. So I will now go back and I can select the relevant formula over here in the during creation of the service master data. So I need to select 045. 045 is not appearing now, so I need to come back and select. But this is the way you can create a volume based formula over here, and the graphical representation. So I'm trying to create a painting services. I can attach some picture over here relevant to the services. Okay, so that the vendor will be able to clearly understand for what type of service I am trying to look. Let us say if I am trying to create a SAP training services, so then I can put some logo over here so that I am trying to create a purchase order against this particular service. So the vendor, we will be able to print this particular logo into the purchase order. So you just need to specify the relevant logo over here so that the vendor for which you are going to order this particular service, he will be able to clearly understand what type of service is. Okay, so then we have I will try to click on basic data. Now I will go to the standard service category. In case of standard service category, I can select the type of service. So easy online training service is one type of service, machinery maintenance services is one type, and like that you can have various service categories. So you just need to select the relevant service category. The service which you are trying to create is falling under. So I will try to select the service type. So this is one of the wallpapering is one of the service type. I can select it over here. Before creating a service types, you can create a before selecting a service category, you need to create the service types and select it over here. Okay, within the service type, again, if you have a further drill down, you can select the further drill down as well. Okay, so let us say SAP Online Training Services. So SAP Online Training Service is a header level service, but within that you have again do the further drill down like SAP MM. Within SAP Online it is SAP MM. Within SAP MM it is a procure to pay. Within SAP MM it is a inventory management. Within SAP MM it is a invoice verification process. Like that you can further drill down the various activities that are happening within SAP module and select the relevant hierarchy over here for this particular service. Let us say I will select wallpapering. Let us say I am trying to create a wallpapering as a one of the service. You might have seen, right? So let me see. Within wallpapering, what are the activities that are involved, right? So those are nothing but a further drill down of the wallpapering service. So I will select, this is the level 1. Within the level 1, again a double layered wallpapering. Within double layered, again you can select one more layer over here, right? So like that means I am trying to do a wallpapering as a service. Within wallpapering it is a double layered service wallpapering. Like that you can do the further drill down of the service which you are trying to create, which is nothing but a service category. Within the service category you are going to select the service type, etc. Okay, so then we have a time management. Time management means wage types. You need to define the wage types, right? What is the weekly based payment you are going to do it for that particular service, or you are going to make the payment on daily basis or hourly basis or monthly basis for that particular service. So you just need to select, create a relevant wage type. So wage types will be created by the human resource management module people. You just need to select the relevant wage type over here. But No wage type is available over here, so that is the reason I could not select anything. And a hierarchical service number. So what is the hierarchy of the service number? So you just select any one of the hierarchy of the service number over here. It is like a product, it is like a in the material master we have the product hierarchy, right? So in the same way, in case of the service master data also, you will have a service hierarchy. So you just need to select the relevant service hierarchy over here. So let us say it is a wallpaper, triple layered, and triple layered is the service hierarchy. So you just need to select one of the service hierarchy that belongs to this particular service. Okay, so then we have a purchasing data. In the purchasing data, you know, right, what is purchasing status? Let us say you are using this particular service from long 1 year and you want to block this particular service for the procurement. So you can block from 31052022 onwards. You want to block the service from 31052022 onwards, you can block. Also the international article number for this particular service, we already discussed regarding this. What is international article number? So you just need to select the relevant international article number if you are performing the transactions in the international market for this particular service. Then conversion, I said a unit of measurement is one activity unit. One activity unit equal to how many hours? So I just need to specify the activity unit to hours conversion. So one activity is equal to 72 hours, that means 3 days. Okay, so when I say one activity unit, that means the wallpapering service which I'm trying to specify it over here will take 3 days, nothing but 72 hours. And if you want to specify any long information to related to this particular service, you can write it down over here. Okay, so then let me save it. I am able to create a service master data, that is I am able to create a service master data, that is I think there is some issue coming over here. It did not got saved. So we will see. We will try to create again a service in tomorrow's class and we will see, and we will be able to make the changes and display, and we will be able to see what are the tables that are involved in the service master data. So we can stop the session here today. Tomorrow we can continue. Do you have any queries?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is it mandatory to create a quota arrangement for every material or any particular materials?
Not required. If you wanted to have, you can have it. If you don't want to have, not required.
Okay.
Okay, then we can meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.